No one knows what to expect. Chaos abounds in the DCU. They're saying hashtag fire James Gunn, restore the Snyderverse. Wonder Woman 3's been canceled, Man of Steel 2 has been shelved. What will happen? Well, one thing that is for sure is there are limited first printings of Everlasting Survivors, Volume 1, all day long, still available at Etsy.com, link in the description below. After the open, I will give you my Sweet 16 picks of who should be cast for a new DC universe. Like I said before the open rolled, these are my Sweet 16 cast countdown for the DC Universe. Going from 16 all the way to number 1. These are the folks that I think, well, some of which getting jobs for the first time with DC, some are getting recast, some of the actors are getting recast in new roles. And we start at 16 with a recast, that being Pierce Brosnan, going from Dr. Fate and in a joke or a fun little play on things, acknowledging his James Bond past when he is cast as Alfred Pennyworth in this new DC universe. I think having Pierce Brosnan, like I said, former James Bond, and he did such a good job being the elder statesman of Black Adam that I think I'd love to keep the guy around. Like I said, you can make the little haha jokes about James Bond and his past in MI6 and that type of thing. It can help establish why he is such a great asset to Bruce and helps how he's able to help him along in his journey. And it actually might really keep a young Bruce with him, Alfred, and Gotham for longer because he's actually got things to pass on to him. He's not just a butler. He's, the family's protection before they're taken down without him. And so I think that would be a fun use of a guy with a plethora of experience. My 15th person is also recasting. So I love Shazam. I think that it is the best of the prior version of the DC universe. But because we know, well, not know, but because it's being talked about that they're going to wipe the slate clean and come at it fresh, I've made the choice to take Zachary Levi and recast him. So take him back to blonde like he was in Thor. And other roles, obviously. But take Zachary Levi, bring him back to blonde, and cast him as Adam Strange in the ongoing DC universe. That actor, I think, does great work, and keeping him on would be awesome. And I think that by putting him in the role of Adam Strange, it will give him the ability to continue his upbeat, positive, fun-loving ways. And my 14 spot is actually two roles. One's a recast, and one's a it's Hawkman and Hawkgirl. I've got Charlie Hunnam from Sons of Anarchy playing Hawkman, Carter Hall, and Amy Adams from Man of Steel being recast in the role of Hawkgirl. In my mind, these two would have the primary interaction early on with Zachary Levi due to the Rand and Thanagarian War. And so that's my number 14 casting is for Hawkman and Hawkgirl. 13, staying in space, is Green Lantern. But it's not Hal Jordan and it's not Jon Stewart. It's Guy Gardner. I think Cameron Monaghan, I believe is how you say his name. The redheaded kid from Shameless, and he played a pseudo Joker in Gotham. I think the kid's got, well, he's really young. He's only 29, so that means he could do this job forever. But he's got good comedic timing. He looks the part, and I mean, if Marvel has taught us anything, anybody with 5 minutes can get jacked. Like it's the way to go. So yeah, that was 13. Number 12 is another Green Lantern, that being Hal Jordan. I've chosen to go with Miles Teller for this role, due to the fact that Hal is a fighter pilot, and recently Miles was in Top Gun Maverick. You know, hey, those two things fit together. But also the concept that he can be fun and entertaining, and like he has range is the point. Like his role in War Dogs, with Jonah Hill, I thought that he did great work in that. But yeah, Miles Teller bringing in as Hal Jordan. I really see him being the first Green Lantern. I mean, of the Green Lantern Corps version. So that was number 12. So 11, we're moving on to Green Arrow. So, I mean, got a theme going on here. 13, 12, and 11 are all green. But for this role, I picked a guy named Alex Pettyfer. He is 32, and he was a stoic henchman in a movie called In Time, but he was also an outsider in the movie I Am Number 4, which I think is highly underrated. But I think that him being cast as Oliver Queen would give him, again, it gives Oliver Queen the room to do this job, or it gives the actor the ability to play this role for years, being only 32. And he's strong and he can be commanding. I think that he'd be great for that that character, and bring the command to the role. His love interest is my number 10 in this Sweet 16. That being Black Canary, Dinah Lance. I've picked Chloe Grace Moretz, the girl from Kick-Ass. She was Hit Girl from Kick-Ass, and she's been in tons and tons of things, but I think that she would make for a very fun Black Canary. She's, you know, I don't know if she can sing, but if she can fake it, I know that she can draw eyes to the stage and do a good Black Canary, visually speaking. And we know that she's great at the action scenes due to her prior experience with Kick-Ass. So I started out talking about how much I really enjoyed Zachary Levi's role as Shazam in the prior universe of DC. But my number 9 pick is a recast of Shazam, or Captain Marvel, and that is with John Hamm. So John Hamm, I've seen so many people cast him as Superman, but if you know anything about Justice League Unlimited, the animated series, the fact is, Captain Marvel on that show made Superman look like he wasn't even the big blue Boy Scout. And so I was thinking about how John Hamm, how much I liked him in The Town and Keeping Up with the Joneses, Tag, even those stupid Flow progressive commercials. Like, he's just so good. So he can play. I think he'd make for a great, when you say Shazam, and then you see this guy, he's just got that, like, he's got the great look. He's got that classic, cast John Hamm. So number 7, I skipped. I was skipping ahead. Let's go back to number 8. We're at the halfway point. And here, we're casting for Cyborg. So there might be a better Cyborg out there, but I couldn't find one when I was thinking it up, so I picked John Boyega. He's 30, but just looking at his face, I think he could play probably 20, 22. And so if you have his story take place in college with his professor father, scientist dad, do all the stuff, then I think that he could probably pull it off. And if there's a better pick out there, I'm not unwilling to go that route. But he's just the first person that came to mind when I was trying to find a recast Cyborg. And I also think that if this new ongoing DC universe took notes from the DC animated universe and had young Billy Batson, who's inhabiting the body of John Hamm, look up to John Boyega's football player self before he becomes disfigured, I think that it could really help keep that good dynamic together. And it would also show a different side of this Captain Marvel, this Shazam, this Billy Batson, as opposed to the family dynamic. Put that off a little while, maybe film 2 or 3, and have his first friendship thing be with Cyborg, like they did in the DC animated universe, which was good stuff. So, now that we got past number 8, John Boyega for Cyborg, number 7, and before I even started recasting the entire world, I said this person should be cast as Mira in place of Amber Heard, and that is Teresa Palmer. She also is a star of I Am Number 4, and she also starred in a movie called Take Me Home Tonight. She's currently 36, but again, I think she could pass for probably 28, 29, whatever. And so she looks the part. She's a great actress. I think putting her in as Mira would be a great call. And while we're on the topic of Atlantis, let's go to our number 6 casting for the DC Recast universe, and that is Aquaman. So I have decided to go with Boyd Holbrook. He worked in the Logan movie, and he was also a primary character in one of my favorite movies of all of 2022, that being Vengeance. He's currently 41, but he looks like he could play the role for 20 years if you ask me. And so as we get to the top 5, the 5 most important, presumably the 5 most important members, and all 100% Justice League all day, we go to number 5, and that is Martian Manhunter, J'onn J'onzz. So this guy, who I've cast in the role, is primarily cast for his voice. Because Martian Manhunter is, green, or whatever he wants to look like, honestly. And so I have cast Keith David in the role. He brought weight to Spawn, the animated series. He brought humor and levity to Enlisted, the Fox comedy about being enlisted in the army. And he's, all kinds of classics. They Live, Gargoyles, the animated series, like Keith David, all day, Martian Manhunter, yes please. So number 4 is Lucas Till for the role of Barry Allen's Flash. Lucas Till is known for playing Havoc from X-Men First Class and MacGyver in the MacGyver reboot. He looks the part. I mean, he's 32, but I mean, he could probably pass for 25. He's a lot of these castings I've done for the sake of longevity, the idea of keeping them in the role for years to come. And so I think that he would fit the role of Barry Allen and do well to stay with it. And so that was 4. Number 3 is, he's the big man himself, the big blue Boy Scout. And he is my next recasting of a current DC Extended Universe actor. So when I think of Superman, I think of Christopher Reeves. I think of the idea of a lesser known actor and stepping into the role and becoming big because of the role. And that's why I picked, I know he's in Black Adam, and I literally wrote he's in every Netflix everything, but Noah Centineo, whatever, the Noah kid from Black Adam, he has height, he has the jaw, I just think that, you buff him up, I think that he'd make for a great Clark because I've seen him be vulnerable. I think he'd make for a great Superman because I've seen him confident. I want the kid for the role, and I want him to keep it forever. I want this world to stay strong and steady and doing great stuff. So, number 2 in my recasting of the DC universe is Alexandria. Yeah, Alexandra Daddario. So I know her best from White Collar and from her time in the rebooted Baywatch movie, but she's been in all kinds of everything. But I think she could make for a wonderful Wonder Woman, pun intended. Beautiful and graceful. Just somebody you can get behind. It's no knock on Gail. It's just I'm trying not to bring back the known entities, the known actors from the prior version because I want to not muddy the waters or confuse things. And that's why when I do recast people, I recast them so dramatically different. Like Dr. Fate isn't another magic character. He's now the family security, the family protection. That's why Zachary Levi goes from being magic-based to science-based. Yeah, so I'm trying to keep everything in a easy to understand and digest way for audiences. So that brings us to the number 1 recasting from Mr. Super Oz to the DC Universe. If you haven't figured it out yet, it's probably pretty obvious. It's the person that DC seems to care about the most, even though personally to me it's Superman, but to them it always seems to come down to that big black bat. So the man I picked to play Bruce Wayne and Batman is a favorite of mine. A person who I wish was bigger, but I think this could be the launching point, the place that really gets him to that next level, and especially if he sticks with it for the long haul. For 10, 15, 20 years, I want Matt Latner from Timeless and Jupiter's Legacy, plenty of other projects as well. I want him cast as Bruce Wayne. I want him to play Batman. I've seen him be vulnerable and also large and in charge. And so I think that he'd make for a great Bruce Wayne and a great Batman in a brand new DC universe. And so that is Mr. Super Oz countdown of DC Universe recast. But if you're still here, I would like for you to check the description of this video, click the link, and pick yourself up a copy of my 68-page graphic novel, Everlasting Survivors, Volume 1, all day long. There are limited first printings still available. When they sell out, there will be 2 brand new covers, one from Fabry Ferdinand and a new one from Jeff Hicks. And thank you for watching. Come back Wednesday. Come back next weekend.